All right, ladies and gentlemen, in a first, Air Chief Marshal Amar Singh has revealed the details of Operation Sindoor that was carried out in retaliation to the Pahalgam terror attack that killed 26 people. Never forget, never forgive. IAF chief has now revealed that Indian Air Force shot down 6 Pakistani aircraft during Operation Sindoor. He was speaking at the Air Marshal Kocher annual lecture in Bengaluru. Among the aircraft shot down, 5 were fighter jets and 1 was an AWACS or Airborne Warning and Control System. Air Chief Marshal further said that some parked F-16 fighter jet of the Pakistani Air Force in Jacobabad was also destroyed by the IAF. Now this, viewers, is the first time the Indian Air Force has disclosed details of the damages inflicted to its Pakistani counterpart. All right, let me quickly go across to Major General Ranjan, Kocher, strategy and defense expert. I'm also joined by Major General K.K. Sinar, strategy and defense expert, but I'll in fact come to you, Major General Ranjan Kocher. The Air Chief, has now said that India shot down 5 Pakistani fighter jets and an AEWNC aircraft in May. How big a deal is that in military terms, sir?
You see, this revelation which the Air Chief has translated into numbers, because earlier we were aware of the damage, what the bomb damage assessment came to light was when their air bases were targeted, and especially Noor Khan, Sargoda, Ramyar Khan, Sukur, Jacobabad, Bolari, and Murid Air Base, because these were 7 to 8 air bases which suffered substantial damage. Now, for the first time, the Air Chief has brought out the figures or the numbers of the aircrafts which were destroyed, and I'm quite certain that he is speaking from specific and authentic information. And you see, in a 4-day conflict, where basically only the air power is involved, and when the none of the air forces cross the line of control, losses like this are quite substantial. And that is why Pakistan media and Pakistan defense establishment has been quiet about it. And now, when we match those pieces here, after this information of the Air Chief is being given to us, we can understand better why a ceasefire was asked by Pakistan, why Pakistan was running to the United States, to President Trump, to the Vice President, and to the Secretary of State, trying to intervene and broker a ceasefire with India. You see, what happens is, in a war like this, when your air defenses get compromised, as the chief has mentioned, around 6 radars were destroyed or sufficiently damaged so that they could not take part in the operation for a number of days. So if that is the ground reality, and in terms of specifics, if we talk about Karachi and Lahore, these were the 2 areas where the radar systems or the air defense systems of the Pakistani defense forces were badly compromised. And once it is compromised, then further attacks by the Indian missiles and drones becomes all the more easier. So Pakistan would have realized that it would be prudent to go for a ceasefire at this stage, because in case they didn't do that, I'm sure if today the Air Chief is mentioning 5 fighter aircrafts and 1 AW and C, which is like a AWAC, it's an airborne early warning system, and extremely critical because Pakistan has got only 9 of them. And if you lose one of them, I think that's a very, very substantial damage you have caused to their air
Right.
defense
Right,
capability.
Major General, I'll request you to hold on to that thought. Let me quickly go across to Major General KK Sinar, strategy and defense expert. Sir, from an operational standpoint, what does shooting down 5 fighters and, an AWACS tell you about the IAF's capabilities?
Good afternoon and Jai Hind. See, the capability of Indian Air Force has been well established. Today revolution, when the chief is just saying and he is strengthening the thing which has come as a narrative that the 5 aircraft that, on the series are, it is F-16, JF-10, JF-17. JF-10 is the B block, J-17 is B block. These are Chinese and Americans, including AWACS. So AWACS is a system, which gives you the early warning, and one has been, shot down. And it is very, very short and swift where the Indian Air Force did cross over. And, basically it is the beyond the visual range engagement. So that is a, wonderful revolution which the Air Chief has been, now giving it, which has been strengthened. Because before this, NSA has been speaking, CDS has spoken. And in this revolution, both NSA's role and the CDS role, the chief, Air Chief has brought it out how important, because this is the first time where the India has, fought a battle which is an integrated way, a short and swift and very decisive battle. It is not, the period which matters. It is the result, and in the swift operations you have achieved. No Air Force or no armed force or a military in the world has able to do this, because the world is at war. We are seeing every day they do not know how to engage and disengage in a short period and move ahead for a better mission, because Operation Sindoor has not stopped. So he has given a very detailed, thing which we fought offensively, and the defensive aspect also. How we defeated the Pakistan's, because Pakistan used a complete might, and this might was of Americans, the might was also of Chinese, that was totally defeated. With the indigenous capability of ours, whether we have used our own system by which we have destroyed the complete, and the whole world is aghast. World doesn't know, because everyone is realizing how is it possible that you do it in a very, very long frontage. The frontage was 1,400 kilometers and a depth of approximately 250. Even if you could say we have touched, because in the area in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in Peshawar area, we have gone about 300 kilometers in depth. So
Right.
It is a wonderful revelation. And I think it is going to strengthen the thing what the India has been saying, and the world has witnessed, because you guys are also the warrior. You have shown in last 4 days, that those days in 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, in the complete media of India, visual media, they were up against, and they were showing minute to minute, and that is coming up now as a strength. And when we are, the Air Chief is, bringing it, it gives you the impetus and much more strength with that.